Welcome, hoops enthusiasts, back to our channel. Today we will have a special coverage of the 2024 NBA playoffs. Before we dive into the action, make sure to hit the subscribe button and like this video. It really helps us out. In this thrilling tournament, the league's standout teams will clash in a series of intense matches to determine who will claim the coveted title. But before we dive into the action, it's important to understand how the schedules, key dates, and exciting matchups are structured. The 2024 NBA regular season has just wrapped up with thrilling performances, and now the playoff stage is set. The top 6 teams from each conference have already punched their tickets to the postseason, while those ranked 7th to 10th will battle it out in the play-in tournament from Tuesday to Friday. This exciting prelude will determine the final 2 teams from each conference that will complete the 8-team playoff bracket, kicking off this Saturday. In the Eastern Conference, the Orlando Magic clinched the 5th seed, and the Indiana Pacers the 6th. The play-in tournament will see high stakes for teams like the Philadelphia 76ers, Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls, and Atlanta Hawks. Over in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder emerged as the #1 seed after finishing in a tie with the Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves, who secured the 2nd and 3rd seeds respectively. The Denver Nuggets are set to defend their NBA Finals championship, starting from this strong position. Other key matchups include the LA Clippers facing off against the Dallas Mavericks as the 4th and 5th seeds, while the Phoenix Suns secured the 6th seed with a critical win. The Western Conference play-in tournament is loaded with star power. LeBron James and the 8th seed Los Angeles Lakers will take on the 7th seed New Orleans Pelicans, while the 9th seed Sacramento Kings host Stephen Curry and the 10th seed Golden State Warriors. Stay tuned as we provide all the latest updates and insights right here, setting the stage for what promises to be an electrifying road to the NBA Finals. Let's see how the Eastern Conference is going to look like. First up, we've got the entry tournament that decides who makes it into the first round. It's been an intense season, and it all comes down to this. Here's how the play-in tournament is set up. On Wednesday, the battle begins with 2 crucial matchups. The #8 Miami Heat will go head-to-head against the #7 Philadelphia 76ers. Simultaneously, the #10 Atlanta Hawks face off against the #9 Chicago Bulls. Then, on Friday, the stakes get even higher. The winner of the Hawks versus Bulls game will take on the loser of the Heat versus 76ers. This game will determine who secures the final 8th seed. With the play-in sorted, the first round of the playoffs shapes up like this. The #1 seed Boston Celtics will face whoever emerges as the #8 seed. It's going to be a thrilling matchup, no matter who they face. The #2 seed New York Knicks are set to play the #7 seed, and that will be an exciting series to watch. Moving down the bracket, the #3 Milwaukee Bucks are up against the #6 Indiana Pacers. And rounding out the Eastern Conference, we have the #4 Cleveland Cavaliers facing the #5 Orlando Magic. There you have it. The Eastern Conference is set for some electrifying basketball. What do you think? Who are your picks to make it through these matchups? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Now, let's dive into the Western Conference. Let's start with the play-in tournament, where the stakes are as high as they can get. Here's what the initial setup looks like. On Tuesday, the action kicks off with 2 intense games. The #8 Los Angeles Lakers will face the #7 New Orleans Pelicans. At the same time, the #10 Golden State Warriors are up against the #9 Sacramento Kings. Then on Friday, the drama continues as the winner of the Warriors versus Kings matchup will face the loser of the Lakers versus Pelicans game. The outcome will determine the final 8th seed in the playoffs. With those critical games decided, here's how the first round looks for the Western Conference. The #1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder will face the #8 seed, which will be determined after the play-in. It's going to be a matchup you won't want to miss, with potential surprises depending on who clinches that spot. The #2 Denver Nuggets are set to take on the #7 seed. As the defending champions, the Nuggets are a team to watch this postseason. Next up, the #3 Minnesota Timberwolves will battle the #6 Phoenix Suns. And finally, the #4 LA Clippers will face off against the #5 Dallas Mavericks in what promises to be a closely contested series. There you have it, folks. the Western Conference is ready to light up the scoreboard with these electrifying matchups. Who do you think will come out on top? Now, diving deep into the Eastern Conference, we'll explore each team's journey to the playoffs, their next matchups, and what to expect in the coming games. Kicking things off at the top, let's talk about the powerhouse Boston Celtics. The Celtics have been phenomenal this season, clinching the best overall record, first place in the Eastern Conference, and the Atlantic Division title. They were the first to secure a postseason berth and will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Their next challenge will be against the winner of the number 8 seed in the Eastern Play-In Tournament. Next up, the New York Knicks, who've grabbed the second spot in the Eastern Conference. They're set to face the winner of the 7-8 play-in game between the 76ers and the Heat. The Knicks are looking strong and ready to make a significant impact. In third place, we have the Milwaukee Bucks, winners of the Central Division. They're gearing up to face the 6-seeded Indiana Pacers in what promises to be an exciting matchup. Coming in at fourth are the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are matched up against the 5th-seeded Orlando Magic. Both teams are eager to prove their mettle in this postseason clash. Speaking of the Magic, they've had a remarkable season, landing 5th and heading to the playoffs for the first time since 2020. Their upcoming battle with the Cavs is definitely one to watch. The Indiana Pacers, positioned 6th, have shown grit and are ready to challenge the Bucks. It's a tough matchup, but the Pacers are no strangers to playoff pressure. The 76ers have achieved 7th place for the play-in tournament. Their first next opponent is the number 8 favorite Miami Heat, who they will host on Wednesday. The winner will advance to the playoffs and face the 2nd-seeded Knicks in the first round. Matching up against the 76ers, the 18th-seeded Miami Heat are fighting for a chance to continue their playoff journey's guarantee against the Knicks. It's a high-stakes game that could go either way. Next, we have the Chicago Bulls, ranked 9th and set to host the 10th-seeded Atlanta Hawks. The winner of this game will face the loser of the Heat 76 ERS matchup for the final spot in the playoffs. Finally, the Atlanta Hawks, the 10th seed, are looking to upset the Bulls and keep their playoff hopes alive. It's an uphill battle, but one they are ready to tackle. Next, we will dive deep into the Western Conference while we also explore each team's journey to the playoffs, their next matchups, and what to expect in future games. Leading off, we have the top team in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder have dominated the Western Conference and clinched first place, as well as the Northwest Division title. They now await the winner of the #8 seed from the play-in tournament. Whoever that may be, they will face a well-prepared Thunder team in the first round. Next, let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. As the defending NBA Finals champions, they've secured the number 2 seed and are looking as formidable as ever. Their first challenge will be against the winner of the Lakers-Pelicans play-in game. The 3rd seed goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who've shown they're a force to be reckoned with. They're set to battle the 6th-seeded Phoenix Suns right out of the gate, promising an intense series. The LA Clippers have clinched the 4th seed and the Pacific Division title. They'll host the Dallas Mavericks in the opening round, setting the stage for an exciting series. Speaking of the Mavericks, they've secured the 5th seed in the West and are ready to face the Clippers in a matchup filled with intensity and anticipation. Speaking of the Suns, they snagged the 6th seed on the very last day of the regular season, extending their streak of playoff appearances. Their reward? A tough match against the 3rd-seeded Timberwolves. The New Orleans Pelicans are in the 7th slot after a tough end to their regular season. They're up against the 8th-seeded Lakers in a must-win play-in game to keep their playoff dreams alive. He Lakers, in 8th place, are gearing up for a shot at redemption against the Pelicans. It's win or go home for both teams in this play-in showdown. In 9th place, we have the Sacramento Kings, who will face the Golden State Warriors in the play-in tournament. It's a chance for these teams to fight for their playoff dreams. Finally, the Golden State Warriors, in 10th place, are set to take on the Kings. It's a do-or-die situation for both teams as they battle for a spot in the playoffs. There you have it. The Western Conference playoffs are shaping up to be nothing short of spectacular. Share your predictions in the comments below. And thus concludes our guide to the NBA Playoffs 2024. From the initial stages to the final rounds, we've explored the schedules, important dates, and thrilling games that will define this season's champion. Whether you're rooting for your favorite team or simply enjoying elite basketball, These playoffs promise to deliver excitement, drama, and unforgettable moments for all fans. Get ready to experience the NBA at its finest. If you like the summary of the playoff matchups and you don't want to miss any more news, tap the subscribe button and like so you don't miss any more news. Thanks for tuning in, and here's to an epic NBA playoff season ahead. Until next time, keep that basketball fever alive. See you on the court.